That ain't thunder. That's Logisticize rolling in. Headlights cut, small town night, dust flies up in the neon light. Hauling miles with a heavy load, pulling up on the gravel road. Steel toe boots on a wooden stage, a little rust and a rebel rage. From the back roads to the show, when the engine starts, you know. Feel that rumble in your chest, like a diesel hard out west. We're Logisticize, blowing loud and mean. Red dirt rebels on the gasoline dream. Turn it up, let the tailgate drive. We don't slow down, we don't ever stop. From the back road straight to your soul. We came here just to lose control. If you're ready, let me hear you shout. Logisticize is rolling out. Six-string crying, a kick jump pound, booty heel stomping on southern ground. Cold drinks raised till the night's on fire, bringing heat like a flat-out tide. No GPS on a rebel route. We don't ask where we don't have doubt. If there's a stage in a wild crowd, crank it up and we play it loud. Feel that shake in the floor. That's the sound you waited for. When Logisticize rolling loud and mean. Red dirt rebels on the gasoline train. Turn it up, let the tailgate drop. We don't slow down, we don't ever stop. From the back row straight to your soul. We came here just to lose control. If you're ready, let me hear you shout. Logisticize is rolling out. Well, Logisticize coming in hot, full tank fire, give it all we got. Let it rip like a midnight ride, bring in thunder you can't deny. From the black top to your hometown bar tonight, we're taking it way too far. So throw 'em up, let the whole world shout. Logisticize is in the house. Welcome to Logisticize 104. Hosted by Doug Holbrook. Y'all ready? Let's ride.
All right, everybody, let's try that again. Sorry about it. Hey, type back in there. Tell us if you can hear us, if you would, please, before we get going too far on this. Looks like we got everything straightened out. All right. Thank you, Randy. We appreciate that. Well, we'll try this again. Welcome, everybody, back to the Logisticize 104. We've gone through this 3 times now, so we're going to save you the headache of the intros. I got Justin in here with me. We're going to be talking a little bit today about what we're hearing from you guys, what we're seeing out there for security on the road, for your freight, for you guys in person, actually. Hey, Justin, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Hey, so you talk to new drivers or new prospects every day, I hope anyway, get these trucks filled. And what are you hearing out there that's one of their biggest complaints, or maybe just some of the hardship or annoying things they're having to deal with out there on the road in your conversations?
Yeah, it's funny you said I'm trying to hire for the empty trucks, right? I don't know if I'm doing that or hiring complainers on just in general. No, I'm kidding. But hey, you guys do a great job with it, bringing stuff up to us. But biggest thing I hear, and I'll just kind of be in general here, is technology. Whether it be, there's still people out there that want to run paper logs instead of ELDs, the cameras, this, that, you name it. I've probably heard a complaint about it as far as technology. However, I think one of the biggest ones, it's tracking apps, right? That's one of the questions I get when people first come in. I know we've talked about it before in meetings. I think I saw Brett on here. Don't quote me, Brett, but I think you were one of them that has received calls at 1:00 in the morning on a Sunday morning, Saturday morning, whatever it is. So definitely I'll call it the big brother aspect of tracking apps.
Yeah, I mean, those have been around for a little while. I had to deal with a few depending on the, what we were hauling. But a lot of what we're seeing is just like you talked about. And I think one of the struggles that's in our industry right now is the technology, how it's advancing. And it does become cumbersome. You got a tablet, you've got a tracking app on your phone. But I mean, there's an actual reason for that. And I know everyone realizes that. It's a pain. I get it. But if you guys haven't heard, some of the biggest ways that they're stealing freight out there right now is they're they're actually just sitting out in the parking lots with a laptop. They are sitting there hacking into a company's public Wi-Fi. And if they don't have themselves protected right, they're stealing the information. They're getting the carrier who's coming to pick up the load. They're getting the pickup number, so on and so forth. Anything you need to pick up a load. They're so good that they've got portable vinyl printers. And they're printing out DOT numbers, MC numbers, and everything you would need to put on a temporary magnet to slap on the side of the truck. They're showing up an hour before you guys would get there, loading up the freight, and they're taking off. So they're trying to just double, triple check everything. They have to line things up, because here's one of the problems with that type of theft. There's a victim in this, and it's the shipper, obviously, because they're losing their product. But they're the ones that sat there and they verified the information. They loaded the truck and they released them from their facilities. So there's no recourse. They have to eat that entire loss. And when you're talking, us, it could be anywhere from $50,000 for a truckload of freight up to $400,000, depending on what it is. So it really is a pain. I get it. It's intrusive at times, but they truly are just reacting to what's been done to them. Theft is on the rise, but it's not the only kind. And one of the things that we fall victim to having flatbeds is our freight's out in the open. They can see it. So Justin, anything that you can think of right there that, what can we do to protect ourselves? These flatbeds are wide open. Anybody can see them driving by, whether you're parked at home, you're parked at a truck stop, or even at any yard. Someone can walk in, essentially. The advantage of it being at our yard is we have cameras, and that's one of the reasons we prefer that. But what else are you hearing out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's that's another question I get, I guess. Do you allow truck at home parking? Things on that side. I'll kind of go back to technology too, drive-wise, I guess, just kind of throw that in.
Yep.
A lot of people get upset like, oh man, I drive through Chicago, I drive through wherever, metropolitan area, and this drive-wise is constantly dinging at me for freight theft and things like that. I think it's as bad as I'd like, or I don't know how I say this, but if thieves would probably put as much effort and work into, the work that our guys are doing, whoever is doing that work, we might be better off. But they're smart, right? They're looking at patterns. They're looking where you guys are parking, how you're parking, just different things like that. I think a lot of our guys, they take good care. They look for safe places to park. They look for things over the weekend, whether it be gated, stuff like that. So, it's
well with that. What's some of the things off the top of your head you can think of, even at a normal parking spot where they would park every single day, that they can set themselves up kind of defensively to use the tools that are available in the truck, or just putting the freight in a manner, or parking in a manner that would, cameras can see that, or
let's, I think one thing is definitely backing into a space. That way, you're not exposed, I guess. If you're facing forward towards a grass field, whether it be, or anything where the back of your trailer is easily accessible, right?
Yeah.
Where they can, I don't know, I'll say drive in a forklift or jump on the deck real quick, whatever it may be. I think that's stuff that you guys can set yourself up better for, to help protect the freight that's on you.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we do have is when you guys shut those trucks off, that front facing camera will continue to record for 12 hours. Typically you guys are taking 10-hour breaks. That's meant to kind of cover it if you're in a truck stop and someone rips the hood off when they're pulling out of there. But, you can park that truck in a manner, if it's possible, to where they have to walk by the front of that truck and get seen by that camera before they can get to the freight. Just don't make it easy on them. Lock everything up the best you can. And truthfully, guys, anytime you can get it in front of a camera or in one of our yards, that is honestly the best place for it. It really is just going to keep it. And plus, if you're at one of our yards, you've taken the responsibility off yourself. If you're parking at one of your spots at home, you're assuming part of that responsibility that you've chosen a spot that's secure, and that, we shouldn't have too many worries that the freight's going to be stolen. So, and kind of with that, I do want to bring up that for the first time since I've been here, we did have someone steal freight right off the back of a flatbed while someone was parked at their normal home spot that they haven't had any trouble with. So it's a first for us. We're working through that, but it's something that we wanted to bring up to make sure that you guys are absolutely aware of out there. It does happen. There's a reason for all the checks and balances, and we do what we need to do here. So the security, you guys have never, ever blatantly left loads exposed. We're not accusing anyone of that, but thieves are getting smarter. So we have to take extra precautions up here. Hey, Justin, got a question for you. How many of the guys do you think right now are just rolling around, not really paying attention, kind of keeping an eye out for any type of red flag or anything when they're pulling into a lot, or know what to do if they do spot a red flag?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think our guys do a good job of, and I think that's good. I'll kind of backtrack that. We go to a lot of the same places, I think, or a lot of the same areas.
Yeah,
I should
we do.
say.
Yeah, we're pretty consistent.
Whether it's on our flatbed or dry van side, we stay in our lanes and we kind of stick to that, right? So, I think a lot of you guys are very familiar with places. I think you're very familiar, probably, whether you want to say it or not, you've seen those drive-wise warnings, and you probably don't want that thing dinging all night in your ear, right? Unless you're powering down your tablet, something like that. But I think it kind of falls into that old adage of, don't get too comfortable, right? Something can always happen, whether it's a place you've been to a million times or it's your first time there. So, always take a look around. I think the big thing too, maybe not so much parking or stopping for the weekend, things like that. And this might not kind of follow along with what we're talking about, but still, if you pull into a shipper receiver that you haven't been to before and it's tight, I think it goes back to call and let us know, right? Call and let us know. Don't put yourself, the truck, the freight, in any sort of, I'll say danger, whether it be doing damage to a building, do damage to a lot, something like that. I know you guys go into tight spots. I've talked to you guys, several of you guys, about that kind of stuff, but I think everybody does a really good job. I mean, we have damages every once in a while and things like that, but
which is going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with job sites and things like that, you're going to get into spots where it's just not a normal. It's not a normal shipper receiver where you're pulling into a nice concrete or asphalt lot that has nice line spaces and you're backing into a dock door. One of the things, if you get in a spot, you don't necessarily feel like you're forced to drive off into a ditch, or you're stop, take a second. If you feel like it's not going to be a good call, what they're asking you to do, call back in here to the office. If it's a safety risk, call and ask for me. If it's something operational, something that doesn't look right to you, call your dispatcher. That they'll run it up the chain. They'll talk to Brian if you're on the van division, or Kurt if you're over on the flatbed side. And we're here to help you guys. That's the biggest thing. Pick up the phone, give us a call. If you don't think that something looks right, if you don't think that it's possible to get into a location, give us a call. We could take a look and we can help you out. Plus, that takes the responsibility off you guys. We all know that, if an accident or an incident is deemed your guys' fault, that you're responsible for up to $1,000 of it, and nobody wants to pay that extra money. You guys are just out there trying to make a living, and if you're getting a position where you think that you need some help, pick up the phone, give us a call. Same goes for security as well. If you guys have a pull into a normal lot where you guys think that, this is normally fine, and you see some red flags, pick up the phone and give us a call. We want to know if that freight's going to be in jeopardy. We want to know if the equipment's going to be in jeopardy as well. Outside of that, really this year, you guys were logging one accident still. We don't have any accidents. The hours of service violations, you guys have cut them nearly completely out. So we're doing a fantastic job with all of those things. And we're looking at, we need 4 more points for crash. 4 points for crash to get us out of that alert status. And we're getting ready to get 37 points back this month for hours of service as well. So we have a huge chunk that we're going to make up this month here in April, as long as we can have a good month like we did last month. I mean, it keeps rolling through. It's showing through every single thing you guys do, the professionalism, the attention to detail. And I just hoping that this week's just kind of a blip in the radar and we just lost focus a little bit. But if you do have an incident or you do have an accident, Justin, who are they supposed to call when that happens?
Yeah. If you have an incident, accident, get a hold of Doug. Big thing still, guys. I'll kind of preface this with this too. During office hours, make sure you're calling into the office, please. I know many of you guys have been in here. Cell phone reception is awful in this building. So please call our office phones. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you could be calling Doug during office hours.
Yeah, during office hours, you guys give us a call here at the shop. I mean, that is true. We have had some Wi-Fi issues in the past where it drops our phones and I don't get your guys' calls or texts. Plus, a lot of times my phone will be on my desk if I'm around here at the office, and it's just an easier way for someone to track us down. But by all means, after hours, guys, if you get in an accident or an incident, my phone number is out there on your guys' books. It's 419-670-5388. Do give me a call, though, and leave a message if I don't answer. I don't have it on my hip all the time. I want to help you guys. But if I walk back and I just see a call, sometimes I don't know the importance of it, or it may be a priority. Leave a message so I can see a quick little, blurb of what you guys are needing. Outside of that, guys, anything out there that you're seeing on the road is kind of the section where we kind of open it up to you guys. I do have the call in there. Anything that you guys are noticing with the shippers and receivers that you are visiting regularly that are tight to get into, or anything like that at all, go ahead and give us a ring on there. Tap that microphone, call in. We can have a discussion on it. We'd like to get a few of you guys in here today. Also, the shop. So we are trying to keep everything organized here. We have had our own software platform that has been coded for us to where you guys submit DVRs. They go straight to our maintenance boards in here. Justin, what are some of the things that you're noticing around here as you walk around with the techs out there and using that system, and how it's helping us improve out there in the shop?
Yeah. I mean, I at first I think it's realizing or showing us some of our shortcomings, maybe things that we need to get better on.
Absolutely.
And that's with, the stuff from the drivers out on the road as well. I go back to technology, right? Technology can be a great thing. It's keeping our techs focused. They know the jobs they need to work on. So I'll kind of lead into that too. Respect the technicians' times as well, right? So they're busy, they're doing things. I really, really, really need you guys to stay out of the shop. Call Ashley. If you need to go into the shop for something, talk to Ashley, right? If Ashley's not there, come get one of us. Let the guys out in the shop do their thing. That just keeps things in order on that side.
Yeah, as we grow here and we get more equipment, we get more tractors, it's just going to require more of their time out there, and they're struggling sometimes to keep up. We have last minute breakdowns, plus trying to keep up with all the preventative maintenance and service of all the tractors and trailers. I mean, we're pushing 300, nearly 300 pieces of equipment that they're trying to maintain all year long. So yeah, give us a call into the shop. If it's during office hours, you can follow the prompts, get into the shop. And after hours, you guys out there in the van division, you're still calling me. You guys have my cell phone number. I just gave it. And out there in the flat division, give Kurt a call. It goes for if you're going to be late, if you're sick or anything like that. These are all things that, we need to communicate into here so they can plan accordingly. I've noticed here lately as I'm up early that I'm seeing messages come through on Samsara at 4:30 in the morning that, hey, I'm sick. I'm not going to make delivery. Guys, that's something you got to get a hold of your dispatcher. You got to let them know. They got to plan ahead and rearrange things for that. And when they get in here at 7:30, 8 o'clock, normal opening time, and they catch that, it's sometimes too late for us to make a move here and get things taken care of. So hey, guys out there, come on. Anybody have a question out there? I've got everything opened up. We've been talking about security. I would like to get a few of you guys' opinions on what you're seeing out there on the road. If you're seeing anything strange, anything different at shipper receivers, or anything different than what we've talked about here on the show as far as security protocols outside of, normal operating procedure. It does, make for a great interaction between you guys and us. And it's kind of the point of this, to be able to get your guys' opinions and your guys' information on this. So take a few seconds, tap that microphone, and let us know what you're seeing out there on the road. I don't want to run these short. I want you guys to get your participation in here. But the biggest thing that we were wanting to get across today, avoid the scams, avoid the small incidents, avoid everything that we've been covering here right now. As far as the checks, the balances, when you're talking to shippers and receivers about numbers, make sure you're talking directly to them. Answer the broker's calls. We need to keep that line of security right there so we can continue to get the good freight. We're very fortunate. Our customers trust us, and they release a lot of dollars, and they put them on the back of our trailers, and they make sure that we're getting them to where they need to go. And truthfully, guys, in 4 years that I've been here, we've been pretty fortunate that we've stayed clear of it, but we do take a lot of precautions out there. So, all right, guys, I want some of my committee members to call in here. There we go. Brian, you're calling in. Got you on here. What do you got for us, Brian? Hey there, Brian. Are you out there? Can you hear me? You are live. There we go. All right, Brian, what do you got?
Well, in the subject of brokers, is there a way we can get them to use more regular or common tracking software like Trucker Tools? Because every now and then they want us to link into a different tracking system, and it just ties up the phone, and half of them have too many bugs that they don't want to work. I ended up not using it and then calling them and say, hey, your tracking system is working, delivery is complete, call dispatch for the POD, and leave it at that. If there's a way we can get them to use some of our more regular tracking software, it would be a little bit easier on us. Like Trucker Tools on the Samsara, for example.
Yeah, Brian, I think, with that, the first thing we always try to do is just send them our Samsara link. I think the thing maybe to think about is if they're not wanting to accept ours, they're probably they're partnered with somebody that they want to use. But I can promise you, we're always trying to send out our tracking link to them to, so you don't have that stress on you. The other thing I'll kind of add with it, if you are having a problem with that tracking link, I know you said you called them, make sure you're getting a hold of us immediately too, because brokers right now, they're looking for anything to short pay us, right? So if you don't accept tracking, I've seen $100, $200, $300 where they'll take off that rate.
We had a $500 one, a couple weeks. Yeah, it was a very large one.
So keep that in mind. If that tracking link isn't working, make sure you get a hold of us as well. So we can get involved in it on our side. That way there's no short pay. If there's a short pay, hey, driver didn't accept tracking, 9 times out of 10, that might fall back on the driver to cover. Right. So, I understand the frustration with it. And I think that's something that, we're trying to, I don't think we can solve it. We don't have that magic wand here today. But that's good insight. We can definitely start recommending that to the brokers and things like that. So, I think the biggest thing there, I don't know if that answered your question, but again, if you're having problems with the tracking link, make sure that you're calling us and getting us involved in that too.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. And you guys, I know you guys know TQL is out there, that you get large brokerage companies like that have their own proprietary software that all their customers are hooked into, and that's what they sell their customers. So if we're booking freight with a brokerage firm that is a very large, broker out there, they're going to have all of that. We're developing our own software here, like we just discussed, for maintenance. It's not going to be the mass apps that you guys used to see. Customers want a very personalized experience, and they're able to sell them this when they have their software tracking you, that their customer can tap that link anytime they want to. And it's one of the reasons that the Samsara doesn't work, because they're not going to send their customer our Samsara link. So it's not an option for us, We need this broker freight to get you guys back here to our customers. And unfortunately, since you have thieves out there and those that don't want to put in an honest day's work, it forces those of us that do to jump through these hoops. So, Caleb, you got a question out there or something you want to bring up?
Well, it was kind of the same thing. With the broker like tools, whatnot that we use, is there any way that say we could put those on our tablets that we have? Because I mean, I know sometimes I don't like accepting them because I've had check calls from them, even though they have my tracking at 2 o'clock in the morning, disturbing the 10-hour break. And even if you put it in their thing, like, hey, I'm on a 10-hour break, they still call us. And then, of course, I mean, they're breaking that up, missing that up. Is there any way that we could get those put on our tablets to where it's tracking off through that?
Well, we technically could put them on a tablet. However, there's one piece of information that they ask for every time. And even before they did all the tracking apps, it's four things. It's driver's name, driver's phone number, truck and trailer. That's pretty standard. Any of you guys out there that may have dabbled in dispatch knows that that's just about the basic information that they're willing to assign you a load and have you pick it up without going any further as far as dipping into tracking or putting a link on your phone. We have explored and we have talked to several of the brokerages that we do business with. I mean, we've been a carrier, a preferred carrier for TQL for as many years as I've been here. As you guys have seen the plaques out on the wall, is just the workaround for that is there's no workaround. And unfortunately, just to be upfront with you, we have explored other avenues. Like I've said, they want to use that particular tracking software because it integrates into their system with their customers. And that's how they're getting the freight to give to us so we can get some revenue coming back to our location here. So that's the best answer I have for you, Caleb. I'm sorry it's not the greatest one, but it's just the truth. I mean, it's the environment that we're in. So yeah. I appreciate the question out there. Hey, Brett, thanks for joining us here. What do you got?
Hey, on that tracking app, I have no problem usually using the tracking app. My problem is I got the tracking app on, they're tracking me, and they're calling me 10 and 15 times. Hey, what's your ETA? Hey, let us know when you arrive. Hey, let us know when you're loaded. Hey, and I'm sitting here like, you guys got a freaking tracking app on me. You know exactly where I'm at, where I'm going to be, and you guys want to call me 10 and 15 times. That's my issue.
Are you guys, is there any one in particular maybe, or is this across the board, Brett? If that makes sense.
TQL is horrible for it. And there's a couple other ones too that, okay. But TQL is horrible.
Yeah, they are the worst.
And it's like, you accept the tracking app, and in fact, TQL, sometimes you got to accept the tracking app in order to get your pickup number. Okay, I accept that. I do that. But then they call, hey, what's your ETA? Hey, are you unloaded yet? Hey, let us know when you're loaded. Hey, let us know when you're, whatever. And they call like 10 and 15 freaking times.
Hey, Brett, from the driver's side of that, is there anything within that tracking let's just talk about TQL in particular. Is there do they provide any just buttons or any links or any quick clicks that you can say, okay, loaded, empty, or is it all manual calling to verify?
No, there is actually on their, on the TQL place, it tells you to check in. Okay. And you check in and you tell them you're en route or whatever the case might be, or you're at pickup. And so you actually check in on that app, but they still call to verify of your ETA or all this other stuff. And in fact, you can check in on that app and then they will text you also and say, time, the time that you get loaded, and then the time that you get out of there. You know, but there is check-in stuff on that tracking app, and they still call or text, one or the other.
Well, next time that you get a TQL load, Brett, can you do me a favor when you're parked?
Yes.
Can you screenshot the main portion of that screen so I can see it? And I can give a little pushback to them. They've got to let you guys take your breaks, and they've got to give you a little piece. The problem that I've ran into when I was, responsible for the van division is I did call and I did make that complaint. And just as technology moves forward, I'm sure all of you guys can see, hear, know that AI is taking over, not people's jobs, but it's automating tasks. And a lot of them are we call to book a load, and we don't even get to talk to human beings anymore. It's literally AI that we're talking to on the other end that
Right.
you can follow from start to end, and you can book a load and have it sent to you. And they're using this at night and during off-peak times to robocall you guys, and as soon as one of you guys answers or it leaves a message, it'll switch you over to a real person. And to be honest with you, I can't even tell if you're talking to a real person on the other end. So I've got a pretty good contact over at TQL that I've worked with for several years that lives here in the area. I'll do my best. I'll try to give them a call out there and see if they can dial that back, or at least find out if you're getting robocalled or if this is just normal operating procedure. Do you see it on every TQL load that you run? And be completely honest, because when I go to him with this, I'd really like to have, hey, it's this particular type of load or this customer that we're getting it on and not this one, because there's groups all over the country for TQLs. I'm sure you know, Brett, and they're in little pods, they call them, and it may not be the same ones. Each of them work a little bit different.
Well, all of the TQL loads that I get, I either end up getting at least 3 or 4 phone calls. And usually, like after I get the first 2 or 3 phone calls, then they text me, and then I have to send in through a text, even though they're tracking me, and I'll check in on the tracking app. But they also want it sent basically directly to the broker that I booked it with, the exact time that I got to my shipper, I was loaded at the shipper, and I left the shipper. They want them exact time. And like on the app, it just says like check in at shipper and depart at shipper. So it don't give them except for when I hit the button of send, that's the only exact time that they have. But when they text it to me, they get an exact time of when I got to the shipper, when I was loaded at the shipper, and when I departed the shipper.
So they're established. Yeah. I know what you're saying right there. And Caleb, is that kind of the same thing that you were seeing on your end, or are you experiencing it with other brokers as well?
I don't experience it with too much other brokers. It's more or less TQL. But I mean, there is a couple. I couldn't exactly name you which brokers there are because I have 18 tracking apps on my phone. I don't remember which one's which one goes to which company. It's more or less TQL loads are the worst. With the call-ins, with the everything, it's not really a specific load. They do it on most generally all loads, whether I'm picking up out of like Southern Kentucky, Tennessee, or whether I'm all the way out here in Iowa, up in Wisconsin, Minnesota. It doesn't really matter the area. They all kind of do it.
Okay, so while I've got both of you guys on here, just a second, BJ. Well, I got both of you guys on here and we're talking about that. Let's talk about both sides of it here a little bit. And I'm going to kind of be devil's advocate. You've got a broker, obviously, like we said, we talked about theft, and they directly have that deducted from what they have the ability to make. And they're out there trying to make a living too, regardless of what we think about brokerage firms and how they rip us off and everybody else. You know, you got a guy sitting there worried about a load. He's trying to check in. He's left the automation to do this. What if you had a suggestion on how to maybe reduce calls, just from think from the other side a little bit, that would help you guys out as drivers? What would that be, guys? Because I want to bring something to them.
Have their system do an automated ping on every 2-3 hours. Have them ping our tracking location for an update that way. If
Sure,
we're
which I'm sure that's already doing that. That's the idea of the tracking there.
If it shows the status that we're parked for 10 hours, then accept that ping, let it go, and then react once we start rolling again. Then the new ping should show our status.
Okay, is there a break mode that you guys can put that in? Is it an actual status that you can show them, hey, I'm stopped, I'm on my 10-hour break, do not disturb button, basically is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well,
There is, yeah.
Yeah, on TQLs, there is like you can say, hey, I'm on my 10-hour break, whatnot, and it sends them the last location, and then it doesn't ping you for the rest of the time. But there is an option that says, yes, I am on my 10-hour break. I don't want any calls or whatnot during this time, and they'll still call you.
They'll still call. Okay, that's what I needed. I needed to know what was available to you guys through their platform, essentially.
What I usually do is, like if I'm on, I do it a lot of times. I'll pick up on Friday, not have to deliver until Monday. So I'm actually on a 36-hour break, and I will pause that app. So like if it's a whatever TQL trucking app that that they're running, I'll actually turn that off and then turn it back on Monday. But you're right, though, they still call.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got this all wrote down, and I'm going to call, his name's Jason. I'm going to give him a call here probably this weekend. We usually talk about once a month, about freight and things like that. I'm just going to ask him what the protocol is on their side and why put that on your guys' apps or make that available if they're just going to ignore it and, contact you guys and bother you when you're on break anyway. Seems kind of pointless, to me.
Right.
It's disruptive, especially when we're trying to, get to sleep, so we're not sleeping as we're driving.
Yep,
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you guys there, and that's kind of the reason we brought it up, is we wanted to get this feedback from you guys as well. We do know it's aggravating. It's something that we have tried to work on here by creating live links to share with them, to try to keep them off of you guys. And like I said, I'll do a little bit of my due diligence here, get a hold of the gentleman and see just from TQL side. And maybe I can get him to come on here next week and talk about it with you guys a little bit and let you know the whys, or, if they're developing it and they're having issues, although this has been an ongoing problem for, not for more than just the last, few months. But, the reason that we bring that up, guys, is because of the deductions that they're handing out for that, like Justin brought up. It's not something we want to pass along to you guys. And I know that there's a lot of issues with tracking. It's just necessary. We've tried to get around it like we discussed. We do not want to see any of you guys lose out on money. Accept the tracking link. If you're having a problem being bothered, call into your dispatcher, let them know. They have a direct line to that broker that they booked the load with, and they can speak directly with them through email, and they have their phone number as well. And that'd be my first suggestion to you if it is a consistent issue and you are on, one of their loads. Make that call. Let your dispatcher know, because if they don't have any idea, and I'm sure you guys have told them, they can't go out there and try to help you either. So not that you guys have not done that, just that's my first suggestions. We got a lot of new guys that have came in here since the beginning of the year, and a lot of this is to help them, navigate our system as well. Hey, Justin, anything you have to add to that at all?
No, I don't think so.
Wow. Thanks for the help.
Yeah, no, I'm an exciting person. I thought there for a while they took my full-time complainers to a whole nother level. That joke by not calling in, but no, I appreciate everybody calling in.
No, one of the you guys, we want to avoid the theft here. We want to avoid you guys being aggravated. It's a balancing game that we have to play with the customers we have, with the brokers that are out there. it keeps our record clean out there for these shippers and these receivers. We want to, we want to open up more bonus money. Last year, like we discussed, not a great year. There wasn't anything left over after we smashed some things up, but we're looking really good this year. And I don't want to see us, lose what the momentum we've gained here shortly. Excuse me. Sorry, this glitched out. I don't want to lose the momentum we've gained here because we're pulling up a good pile of cash, hopefully for the end of the year. And every year that we do that, we sit down and we make a change to the bonus and we try to put more money in there. And if everyone's open and honest, if you've been here the last 4 years, we have added money and added ways to earn more money every year, except for this year to the bonus platform. It had to stay the same. We've made changes on how it paid out. We went to a weekly last year. And we kind of split out the monthly for the idle and the mile per gallon or the efficiency bonuses, but we want to load more up there for you guys. And the better we can keep our safety scores, the more money we can demand. If we're not losing freight, getting it stolen and having little tic-tac incidents, that they see that and they're okay, we can trust these guys. They get the job done. It's why that we're able to be into SDI. It's why you guys are able to be in a new millennium. And we have the opportunity through these bad times to keep moving freight. So, and you guys have any other questions out there that are on the line? Anything you guys want to bring up?
Nothing I can think of.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
So, all right, guys, I appreciate you guys calling in. We're going to probably wrap it up for this one. Just keep in mind out there, make it difficult for the thief. Don't make it easy for them. If they've got to get to your truck, if they've got to get to your trailer, make it as difficult as possible. Park in secure areas. Keep everything in mind. And guys, we appreciate all the hard work you put in. This has been an excellent year. Keep the momentum up. Have a great weekend out there and get home safe to your families. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Down at the new Millennium Gates, where the heavy iron waits, the dawn breaks cold against the diesel grates. You're sitting down the chains on a skeleton of steel, feeling every pound through the steering wheel. Copper cores going like a copperhead snake, tied to the fabric with no room for a mistake. It's a wide, low gamble on a narrow strip road, carrying the weight of a monumental load. Oh! This is for the kings of the outside lane, the ones who conquer the mountain and the rain. The Logistics Eyes 104 is calling out your name, for the grit in your teeth and the pride in the frame. Moving the bones of the cities yet to rise, with the highway burning in your steady eye. Oh, it ain't just cargo bolted to a trailer floor. Oh, it's a pulse of the country knocking in at the door. Oh, they see an oversized sign and they pull to the side, but they don't know the mastery deep in the ride. From the trust to the corner to the long haul climb, you're punching the clock against the hammer of time. The asphalt's a teacher and the lessons are hard, measuring the inches in a gravel strewn yard. You navigate the turns where the weak carts fail, leaving a silver streak on a lonesome trail. New millenniums pass with their hands on the gear, filtering the static till the mission is clear. No room for the timid when the tonnage gets high, just the roar of the engine under a wide open sky. This is for the kings of the outside lane, the ones who conquer the mountain and the rain. The Logistics Eyes 104 is calling out your name, for the grit in your teeth and the pride